Hi, thank you for watching this playposit. This playposit is counting towards Science Unit 13, Lesson 3, and I wanted to point out that if you answer all the questions for this playposit, I will mark the lesson for you. So although the online school has a lesson checkpoint, you will not need to take it because you're answering all the questions in this playposit instead. Our objectives for this playposit are to be able to explain how changes in the environment affect climate and how fossils can show us about past climates and past life. Now, there are 3 types of fossils. So let's go over and review those 3 types of fossils. You should write these down in a notebook if you didn't do it last Thursday in live class. So the first type that we're going to talk about is an impression or trace fossil. So these type of fossils you can see from the pictures here. The definition of these type is when an organism leaves behind evidence they were there, like footprints, or leaves being imprinted on the rock, or nests being fossilized, or eggs being fossilized, etc. Our second type is preserved organisms, where insects, animals, or other organisms, they have been trapped in either ice, tar, or amber, preserving the entire organism. So, like you can see on this baby woolly mammoth, that even the skin was preserved because it was trapped in the ice. Right? With our insect here, the wings and the body of the insect are preserved in the amber. Our third type of fossil is mineral replacement fossils. Sometimes these are called mold and cast fossils. So these are the ones you typically think of when you go to a dinosaur museum. These fossils are mineral replacement fossils. So the organism dies and it gets buried in the layers of sediment, which is why they're only found in sedimentary rock. So then the soft parts like the skin and the muscles and all of that, they decay, they rot away, you're left with only the bone. And then water comes in, and water has minerals in it, and those minerals settle down into the actual bone and harden it, and they make it into a stone replica. So mineral replacement fossils are that type there. So let's take a look at these pictures of the Earth here and follow along as I read this. The Earth is constantly changing. Earthquakes shift the surface of the Earth as oceans of the world change and the shoreline of every landmass. How have the plants and animals of the Earth survived these changes? Explore the scientific theories about the changing world through geologic time. So we're going to look at how the Earth has changed over the course of history, and you'll be able to see some of the differences. So with earthquakes, pictures like this here, and then even just with our constant erosion and the oceans changing the shorelines of all the land masses of the world. Now, fossils can tell us a lot about how these things have changed. And we can learn about climate from our fossils. So I want you to think about this question here real quick. What can we learn about climate from fossils? Go ahead and put your best guess in the answer. Okay, so scientists, they study fossils a lot to learn about past climates that were long ago. If a plant fossil looks like a modern plant, a plant we have now, then the scientists can guess that the two plants need the same climate. So, and then if a fossil resembles a living animal, it's a suggestion that the past animal might have lived in a similar climate as the present animal. If you're looking at plant fossils, the type of plant present in the fossil record will give you some indication of the climate. Fossilized trees, like this one here, will still show their growth rings, and the thickness of the ring indicates the amount of rainfall it had, or if there was a harsh winter or things like that. So even though it's fossilized, scientists can still see those rings in the tree and be able to tell a lot about the climate where the tree was located. Then take a look at these animal fossils. So we have our fossil of a woolly mammoth, and you can generally determine what the climate was like by looking at the adaptations. For instance, evidence of thick fur may indicate a cold climate. Evidence of thick skin may indicate a dry climate and things like that. So, or they'll look at their teeth and be able to make a lot of inferences that way to know about the climate. And then marine fossils, take a look at this fish fossil, and it was found actually in the mountains of Tibet. Now I want you to think about Tibet, right? Here's kind of a picture of where it was found, right? And for those who don't know, Tibet has some of the tallest mountains in the world. So if we're finding fish fossils there, what does that tell us about what that environment used to be like? Okay, so obviously, if we are finding fish fossils or other marine insects and animals and things like that, it would indicate that at some point in time, that area was underwater. Pretty cool to think about. All the time in Utah, you are able to find shells and fish fossils in the mountains because Utah, long ago, was once underwater with Lake Bonneville. Okay, take a look at these pictures here. So the top one is a picture and a replica of a Metaposaurus, which you can see it resembles today's crocodile, the bottom picture. So if a living animal, our crocodile, resembles fossils that we are finding, then we can kind of figure out, okay, well, this Metaposaurus here probably lived in the same type of environment and climate as our crocodiles do today. So fossils really help scientists to be able to understand the past. It helps us know the present better and maybe even be able to predict the future of some of the living things on the earth. And a lot of things to note for this lesson is that as the earth has changed over time, these fossils have been able to tell us about those changes. So I want you to make sure you have answered all of the playposit questions fully and not just put random answers that won't get you credit. If you do answer all of the questions, you will be able to have Unit 13, Lesson 3 marked off for you, and you won't need to take the online school quiz. Thank you for watching this playposit. So again, this was Unit 13, Lesson 3. I will only mark off the Lesson 3 if you answer all of the questions. I will get that done by the end of the week, so if it's not done right at Tuesday, don't worry, it will be done by Friday. Thanks everyone, have a great day.